This is K9PQ.
PQ, this is WU7N. AD7NP, timeout.
Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the '08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with digital amateur television in the DVB-T format. We transmit on 70 centimeters to a crossband repeater on Cougar Mountain and spit out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about our organization, please Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage on the internet. There you'll see the exact frequencies we transmit and receive on. Also, you'll find a link that will take you to YouTube, where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a specific tone of 103.5 for this net communications. Again, this is Dave, KD7CYM. I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before the net gets fully underway. Again, welcome to the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. So far checked in by the net, by video link, is Ron, KD7QKU. Bob, K9PQ in Bothell. K7ITX, Richard is checked in. Wade, W7ITL. N7QO in Covington, Jim. WU7N, James in Northeast Bellevue. 87NP in Clyde Hill. That's Carlos. And myself, Dave, KD7CYM. Is there anybody else wishing to check into the net? Hearing none, let's start the net off with Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, KD7QKU here. Can everyone hear me okay? You can't hear me? You hear me. Okay, Dave hears me. I hear an echo from somebody. I guess it's myself. My gollies. That's terrible. Okay, well, good evening, everyone. KD7QKU over here in, I guess, northwest Tacoma. So let's see, I'm just thinking about, so when I came in here tonight about 7:30, it was 74 degrees outside. Now it's dropped down to 70, I see. So anyway, it cools off when the sun starts down. Went to the ham club this morning. That's always interesting. Visit with some of the guys and see what's going on. Last time when I was there, I sort of met a new fellow. He's not new to the club, but we just hadn't crossed paths. His name was Doug. And today, when I went there, I saw Doug, and he was very friendly and said, didn't you tell me you live over by the Salt Park? And I said, yeah, no, I do. I live on the corner of Defiance and 37th. And he said, well, the sound to the whatever Narrows Run or something goes right by there. Yeah, no, it does. I said, it goes right by here. He said, well, I'm in charge of communications, and he said, would you be interested in bringing your handheld and helping us? And gee, many Christmas. It starts, before 7 o'clock or at 7 o'clock. I don't know if I want to get up that early and help or not. So I sort of waffled a little bit, but said, well, maybe possibly I could help. So we'll see what happens. He said, okay. I said, if you really need me. And so he said, okay, I'll give you a call. So I don't know if I'm going to hear from him or not. And then another guy that was sitting across from me, Scott, he lives on the other side of the park. He said he'd helped before, and he said he'd be happy to help again. So anyway, so that's what I did basically this morning. Today was lunch. They always serve lunch on the last weekend of the month. They had chili dogs. I didn't partake. We usually have a big breakfast on Saturday morning, and I just finish up the breakfast and about 10 o'clock, and I'm not really, right. It did that once before. I don't know what's going on here. So anyway, the camera wants to update. I don't know where it thinks it's updating from, but anyway, it did that with me last week. It just did it now, so anyway, so I lost my train of thought. So it's nice to see everybody and hear what's going on in your life, so I'll just turn it back, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks with that. Well, next up is Bob, K9PQ in Bothell.
Okay, I got the thumbs up from Carlos. I think that means I am on and transmitting. The stream output died. It says network error status 0 occurred while loading manifest retrying in some seconds. So, oh, now it's there. Okay, I picked it up again. So that was twice it happened recently, just this evening, and so I'm not sure what's going on, but we're back. Um, so yeah, just a beautiful day today. I I did not get out and about today. I stuck around here, but the last few times when I was showing the house and had to get out of the house, I went to some local parks, including one I'd been meaning to go to for several years. And now, just about as I'm ready to leave, I finally did go. And a nice little park. It's called, we have a creek here called Swamp Creek. And it was called Swamp Creek Park or something like that, and in Kenmore. And a nice little park. You're in the trees. You kind of feel like you're in the forest a little bit, even though you're right. You've got houses all around you. And yeah, it's nice. We're getting some good weather to get out and do that stuff. Uh, Nothing much new to report on the condo front. I did have an interesting conversation yesterday with my broker, and I there's somebody that's asking a lot of very technical questions about the how the condo management is, their financial situation, and things like that. Apparently, he had been looking at other condos and found some were really, really poorly managed, which is not the case with ours. We have really outstanding management, in my opinion. I was on the board shortly myself and saw how professional they handled things, and we're in very good shape, money wise, which is an important thing for any condo. So hopefully that's a good sign. Hopefully that will mean he'll be more serious about looking here. I don't know, but that's about all I have for now. Okay, I'll send it back. Oh, I forgot the 2 minute timer.
K9PQ, thanks with that. And welcome back, Richard, K7ITX. What say you, Richard?
So anyway, I hope you guys can hear me okay. Good. Yeah. I'm got black eye. Actually, 2.5 weeks ago, I had two black eyes, and that was from surgery, for crying out loud. The only thing I could think is the oxygen mask for the anesthesia got pinched my lower sinus cavities to where it caused the blood vessels to burst, and I had black eyes when I woke up. So from that now I still got one that's just about gone. So anyway, that's where I've been, and let's see what else did. I can't remember if it was last Saturday a week ago or 2 weeks ago. It might have been a week ago where and maybe I already told this story. I can't even remember that, but I didn't really fall out of bed. I sat out. I slid down onto the floor from the bed, and then I couldn't get up. And then my wife couldn't help me get up. And so, yeah, I think I told you guys this story. And we ended up calling 911, and they have a service called Lift Assist. And so that's what they came out, and they lifted me up, and we shook hands, and they were on their way, and it was a happy camper. I don't think they needed the big fire truck, but whatever turns you on. So I'm still recovering from that, this whole business. So the nice weather has been very helpful today. I was able to get down the stairs by myself. I live in a split level house, so I went down a flight of stairs by myself, and out the garage at the street level, and did some walking on the sidewalk with my walker to keep me out of trouble. But at least it's the first time I've been on the street sidewalk walking around since I got out of the hospital about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I'm slowly getting my strength back, and thank goodness for the weather. That's what I need. And but sound and arrows. I ran sound and arrows a couple times in my lifetime, and it's a really nice, fun run. It's beautiful through Point Defiance Park. Just that whole area where Ron lives, the neighborhood where he lives, is where this whole event is at, and it's just really a fun time. So Ron, yeah, I think you enjoy helping out as a volunteer. I really do. It isn't that hard. They just like to have ears and eyes, or eyes and ears, what's going on throughout the course, and I think where you live is pretty ideal. You would be able to, like if people fell down and couldn't get up like me, you'd be able to call for help. So I think would be your important function. So anyway, well, good. Oh yeah, boy, what I tell you, this is the first time. Mount Rainier looks just spectacular today. This is the first time I've seen Mount Rainier in about 2.5 weeks. It's all the clouds and low ceiling cover lately. It's just wonderful to see the mountain. I have a view that I cherish, and that is one reason why I was looking forward to getting back out of Phoenix, Arizona, is to get up to my ham shack and be able to look out at the mountain and enjoy the peaceful tranquility that it represents as a dormant volcano. Well, with that, K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks for that. And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. I'll pause for about a minute and a half in case anybody's trying to contact the Western Washington Amateur Television Society by OBS using the internet. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. No response on OBS. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's go to Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
All right. Well, pretty eventful week. Here you're on the radio again, Rich. So yesterday, I got to go up to Cougar Mountain and did some work. If you may notice, there's 2 channels now again for the uplink. That's because we were able to get the HDMI thing fixed up there, and while I was up there, I controls the receive, so it's like serial ports kind of stuff. We also did some experiments up there. I brought Chris from the Mesh-tastic group, or Puget Mesh group, and we did some Mesh-tastic and Mesh core tests at Cougar Mountain. So hopefully here soon. I'm not sure when. Just depends on hardware and approvals and stuff. But we might have a Cougar Mountain Mesh-tastic router, so that'll help out folks that are on Mesh-tastic and be able to get being heard and seen by repeaters outside their local area. So that'll be able to basically combine and connect the south to the north Puget Sound. Besides that, we did some tests on the amplifier up there. was missing some cabling, so I got to go back up there and do some more tests. But from what we could tell, it seemed to be performing okay. Still kind of some crummy preamp. The downlink for 23 centimeters. I don't know if I have anything more for this round. I did go to the Radio Club of Tacoma today. I forgot about that. And I did some work on the DATV station up there. We got some LMR 600 in place now for the 23 centimeter. Still some issues we're trying to iron out. Might add another 10 feet of tower to be able to see if we can get a little better reception. Still struggling a little bit on that part, but we're moving through it. Yeah, I had a hot dog as well, a chili dog. I was there. Did some experiments on some battery technology, so I'll talk about that in the next round. All right, well, I'll turn it back to Dave. This is W7ITL. Back to Nat.
Now let's see if we can pick up Jim in Covington, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, Ron, 70 degrees. Let's see, I've got 74 at my house right now. I forgot, before I came out here, I forgot to check and see how warm it actually got today. I think I remember seeing 77 at one time. I'm not sure if it got warmer than that or not. It probably did, but like I said, I forgot to check. We had a power failure here this morning. It was out for, I'm going to guess approximately 2 hours. Called Puget Sound Energy, and they said their automated machine said it was out for Covington, Kent, Federal Way, somewhere else. So it seems like it was a fairly extensive area that lost electricity this morning. But they got it squared away. So that was our little experience to which we awakened this morning. And Ron, congratulations on volunteering there. Congratulations in advance for helping with the communications there. Yeah, it could be fun. As long as you didn't have anything else planned. Bob, yeah, glad that you were able to show the property a little bit. People have a lot of questions. Yeah, I know how that goes. I'm in a community where people ask a lot of questions as well. And good to see a park there in Kenmore. Yeah, there are places around here where I have not yet gone as well. Dick, good to hear you. Glad you're feeling a little better, guy. Black eye? Oh man. Yeah, I wonder if maybe the mask like slid up on you or something. I don't know what happened there, but at least it sounds like you're on the mend, so that's a good thing. And yeah, lift assist. I have several neighbors who routinely use that service, and they routinely send a fire truck, mainly for the personnel. They'll have anywhere from 2 to 4 fellows with the fire truck, and they send the fire truck because if they're out on your call and a fire happens to pop up, that way they they don't have to go all the way back to the station to fetch the truck and then go to the fire. They could just go to the fire from where they are after they pick you up. So that's standard procedure. You'll see them do that all the time. So some of the guys got acquainted with some of my neighbors. They show up more frequently than they might want to. But so if that happens to you, you might start recognizing some of the people. And Wade Cougar, dual input now. Good job on that. Meshtastic, great job on that. I have solid video copy tonight from the video repeater. The audio, I was going to say good job now on the 2 meter, but I got 100% copy on 2 meters from everyone except Wade. You dropped out like twice, but then you came back on. So anyway, I think it's an improvement over what it was, but dropped out twice for some reason. But I was able to pick you up just fine, the audio as well as the video on our television repeater. And let's see. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that. And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the O8 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, let's go to Northeast Bellevue to James, WU7N.
And C. Testing. Okay, I am coming on 2 meters. Carlos, you're a magician. I see Wade's picture on there right now. I guess I'll pop up there. Anyway, well, Bob, I'm going to add Swamp Creek. Ooh, I look awful. Man, this is what happens when you don't shave in the morning. Anyway, I'm going to add Swamp Creek to my list of names of why you don't buy a house in that area. I've got quite a list. Oceanside, River's Edge, River Crest, Flood Street, and Disaster Way. Those are all streets that actually exist, and I don't think I'd want to buy a house on them. But it's good that you went to the park before you left. That's always a good thing to do. I saw more of Washington, D.C. the last couple of months I was there, I think, than the entire rest of the time I lived there. And I'm glad your house is getting showings, and I'm glad people are asking questions. That means they're interested and they're serious. Because someone said to me years ago, you don't buy a unit in a condominium, you buy the association. And I came to realize that's probably absolutely true. Richard, good to see that you're doing so well. I'm sorry you got a couple of black eyes during surgery, but I'm sure they'll heal quickly. You just look fantastic. Wade, I'm interested in hearing about your battery tech stories. We just got some new batteries in one group I volunteer with, and they seem quite sophisticated. I was concerned about something, and they said, no, it's got short circuit protection. I said, well, okay, as long as you trust the short circuit protection inside the box, but there's a lot more in the box than just the battery, apparently. Quite a bit of control electronics built in. I'm seeing how it comes out. I got a whole bunch of free batteries from a UPS upgrade about, 5-8 years ago, something like that, and they're just now starting to die off on constant trickle charge. I'm going to drop for a second. Here, I'm surprised that there would be any power outages at the south end. I wonder what would cause that, because I think it got up to around 70 to 75 here. I took a walk and really enjoyed it. Just perfect weather to do outdoor work. I couldn't ask for anything more. And yeah, I had to explain to someone, I've been a volunteer for years, the reason why you have a whole giant either fire truck or fire engine come out to do like routine inspections is if they get a call in the middle of the routine inspection, they've got to go right from there to wherever the higher priority call is. So yeah, and plus it does give them exercise. Every once in a while they'll bring the ladder truck down my street, and there's a cul-de-sac at the end, and I always as soon as I see him go by, I run down there to see the guy, particularly the guy in the tail end, see if he can maneuver that around there, and they always make it every time. Well, anyway, that's it from here for Whiskey Uniform 7 November in Northeast Bellevue. It looks like I'm coming through on the signal in via OBS quite well. I'm interested in a report on how this worked, and was the pause really necessary? I didn't start a timer when I started. So that's me, James WU7N. Back to net control.
WU7N, thanks for that. Now, let's go to Clyde Hill with Carlos, AD7ND. Carlos, video and audio is yours.
Okay, let's start with video. And then with audio. To the okay, let's try this again. Okay. The station asking what's the PL, it's 103.5, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, and you should also be able to pick up the signal on the internet if you look for WW7ATS. Seems like I have good copy from everyone, and it's great to see you all. I had prepared a little bit of a show and tell today, as I had promised from the convention trip. So let's see if I can cue the video. So this is the DATV booth, and as you probably recognize, a lot of the equipment. It has the Jim Andrews transmitter. They have this small little setups, which is basically the receiver and a little TV. And this is what Wade got working also, which was the old PC electronics connected to the receiver. This is the event station. This is one of those old units on the flea market, $50. This was a very nice satellite dish, foldable satellite dish, 2.4 meters, that that gentleman in blue had made up. It's pretty good. This is the Porcupine radio car. Many UHF amplifiers. Wade had asked me to look for some UHF amplifiers, and so I sent him a bunch of. Here's the receivers. This is a paper that describes kind of how to connect the IDES receiver. This is a small little rack for the, I think it's the Ohio ATV, and they had a nice setup demonstrating kind of a repeater setup, which I thought was pretty good. And then out there on the flea markets, kind of all sorts of amplifiers. This was a downlist converter. You can never have enough SMA connectors. Oh, this was an interesting dipole that would extend and retract. And this one is the special Bob section, and maybe Dave can hook us up with one of the common use trucks. These were all the trucks that were there for emergency communications, basically big trucks with big masts, many antennas per truck. And this is, I thought that one was interesting because the whole mast is just on the little dangerous for that. This was the new Yaesu that was launched. Was quite nice, probably a little on the heavy side. So since I was there, I had a chance to also stop by the Air Force Museum, and so I've added some pictures from the Air Force Museum also. Some really nice airplanes. I remember when I was younger to put some of these kits together of some of these airplanes, so it's nice to see them. This is the Apollo module that was recovered. That was there also, and so some nice airplanes. So that gives you a perspective of the setup. I picked up this World War II radio receiver that was there on the exhibit also. Okay, I think that's what I had to share from my Hamvention visit, and let turn it back to Net Control Dave from 87NP.
87N. 87NP, thanks for that. Great view looking all through there. As far as those television trucks with the big mass, that's become obsolete in the last 6 years. Most of the stations have sent their trucks to the graveyard, so there might be some surpluses out there that you can pick up. What's happened was they've kept the satellite trucks and no longer the big garbage truck type satellite machines. They've got a small unit that goes on a minivan, and they can use that. But locally and around the region, they have a system where they intertie 5 communication lines of cell phones, and those 5 connections come back and merge into one for pictures and audio, and that's how most of the field stuff is coming back in now for remotes for television station lives. So that's about it. And getting back up to Richard, you know, we don't believe that mass thing. We want to know how that other guy looks after you got done with him. So anyway, more power to you. I know you're a fighter, and everything came out fine. So anyway, we feel sorry for the other guy. So that's pretty much what's happening here. And for me, I'm receiving great pictures and audio all around. My transmitting antenna is blown off about 15 degrees to the west, and so I'm having a hard time getting a signal in until I get that corrected. And a lot of the trees have started filling in with leaves, so that's causing a little bit of difficulty also with getting a signal, but I should get that rectified soon. So this is Dave, KD7CYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. And at this point, let's go back up to Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma Land.
Okay, waiting for my picture to come in. Look up at my camera to make sure it's still on. Why it was trying to download something's beyond me. But anyway, Carlos, I really, really enjoyed your pictures. A lot of nice stuff. Looks like lots of people. The airplanes, they were real nice too. I've never been to the Museum of Flight here in Seattle. I guess I need to go one time. Seems like we always went out of town rather than in town. I told Joanne one time that we needed to make a list of things that we needed to see in Seattle because we hardly ever went in there to look at stuff. We'd jump in the motorhome and drive halfway across the country and look at their stuff. But anyway, so Richard was mentioning the view of Mount Rainier. That's one of the things that we really noticed when we moved over here. We don't have a view of Mount Rainier from our house, but very close to our house we can see Mount Rainier. If you go down to the beach, just, what is it, a mile away, a mile and a half away, just get this fabulous view of Mount Rainier. And go down there and have our lunch and sit there and look at Mount Rainier. And Richard was talking about lift assist. I guess, I don't know if Tacoma has that or not. When Joanne needed a pacemaker, when we finally got that figured out, we had to call him a few times because she passed out. And they always taken her into the hospital, so I don't know. I never asked him about lift assist, but that's a really nice thing. A lot of people do need that. You do need it. So let's see. I had, it seems like one thing always leads to another thing. So we had a flag and a flagpole holder on the front of the house in Bellevue, but the flag was old and faded, really needed to be replaced, and so I told Joanne I wasn't going to take the flagpole holder down. It wasn't just a simple thing. I just was going to leave the flag in the closet. If the people that bought the house wanted a flag, they could have it. So we didn't bring it with us, and so we haven't had an American flag. I went down and got a holder because we have some poles, and Joanne puts up banners for Christmas and different things, and it's on the front next to the front door. And so anyway, I decided that we needed a flag. So Joanne thought she had one or two, and so she looked, and I kind of forgot about it, and next thing I know, here it is, almost Memorial Day, and no flag. So I ordered one that came today, and I decided I would put it in the dryer and throw in a couple of towels and then run it just a little bit to get some of the wrinkles out of it. And when I was running the dryer, I'm standing there, I thought I could almost feel air moving around in the room. And I know maybe last winter, I felt like sometimes when Joanne was washing and drying, our dryer's off of the kitchen, and there was a lot of humidity, I thought, in there, but I didn't think too much about it. So today I went and got a flashlight and then a little ladder and climbed up on top of the dryer and looked down behind it, and lo and behold, the pipe that goes onto the dryer had partially come off, and so probably half of the air was going in the room and half of the air was going out the hose, and there was a lot of lint around down there, so I had to go get the vacuum cleaner and I had to vacuum it all out. And then, I don't know, it's a pipe, it's not a hose, and so it has to be lined up perfectly in order to slip onto the dryer outlet in the back of the dryer, and then you sort of push it up against the wall and the two go together. And the problem is where the pipe exits the house, it's not right even parallel with the wall behind the dryer. The dryer faces, the back of the dryer is towards an indoor wall, and then it goes out the exterior wall to the right. It's not very far, just 2 feet, but anyway, it's a few inches forward, so the dryer needs to be kind of cocked at an angle in order to fit straight into the elbow. And I think that sometime Joanne straightened the dryer up, and when she straightened the dryer up, it pulled it about halfway out. So anyway, so I had to get a a stick in the vacuum cleaner and my flashlight, and I had to mess around, and I finally got it in position where I could push the dryer into the pipe again. And then I had Joanne get up there with the flashlight and look so she could realize why the dryer wasn't, you know, parallel to the wall, or was kind of at a little bit of an angle. I said that it's going to have to stay like that or it will come loose again. So anyway, so then I taken the flag out, of course, and put it on the pole and put it up at the front door. So now we have a flag for use in the future. So anyway, like I say, it seems like one thing leads to another thing. So anyway, that's my story. So I'm turning it back to the net, KD7QKU.
DATV thanks for that. And let's move over to Bothell to Bob, K9PQ.
Hey again. Okay, I'm going to start my 2-minute timer. And supposedly I've got a timer enabled on OBS. It's not showing me the time, but it's going to automatically cut off after 2.5 minutes. So I have my regular timer going and I'll stop before then. So let's see. I had several things, but 2 minutes really limits you. Dave, that was really interesting about how they do videos with five line cell phone multiplexing, and also the surplus video trucks. Carlos, get on there, look for surplus video trucks. um, and let's see the Hamvention. I did go to the Hamvention last year. A friend of mine lives in Cincinnati, and we went there and went up for the Hamvention. Didn't see the Air Force Museum. I would like to see that sometime, but I have been to the Boeing Museum of Flight, and it is excellent. I highly recommend it. Let's see, what else have we got? The use of the fire truck, that's interesting. I thought it was just because they want to run the fire truck every so often, just like you want to run a car every so often. It's just a good idea to do that, but it makes perfect sense that if they're going out on any kind of call, they take the truck in case they need to go to a fire. And what else? The condo association. Yes, James. I like that comment about that. You don't buy a condo, you buy into the association. It's a bit like I not that I've ever been married, but I've heard that you don't just marry your wife, you marry her entire family. So be mindful of that. Um, and I guess I made it in 2 minutes, so I'm going to cut it off. Don't, I still don't see any timer on in OBS. I'm going to check and see if it's been running. K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. Now let's pick up Richard, K7ITX.
Okay, well, yeah, Ron, yeah, that's pretty interesting about your know that there was sports car racing at Pacific Raceway. I don't think my team was involved, but I would have really enjoyed just going out and walking around, but not being in shape for that. I thought I just need to work on conditioning in the neighborhood, and so that's what I did. Oh yeah, Carlos, thanks a lot for those pictures. Really a lot of fun. I, in particular, like the porcupine car. That was pretty cool. And just everything that you took pictures of are really pretty fancy and nice. And I really appreciate it. It's kind of like being there but not being there. Thanks to you and your camera work. So, gosh, what's coming up? So yeah, Ron, you're gonna, one thing you're gonna be tuggling with is if you help the Sound and Arrows people, you might miss, but you can watch the Indy 500 and do both at the same time. I think that's probably doable. You know, there's a lot of downtime and stuff going on in the Indy 500 that's really not too exciting. In fact, kind of boring to some extent. And so you ought to be able to maybe man your radio and watch the Indy 500 both at the same time. So that's still something to think about. So with that, looks like we're getting close to the bewitching hour. I know it won't get back to me, so I'll just say 73, and it's been very nice talking to everybody and seeing everyone again. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks with that. And let's go visit Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
All right. I was going to show a couple things. James, you had mentioned about the battery that I was working on. So I don't know if you can see it, but it's got this little controller that I got from Amazon, and it's a controller specifically designed for these types of cells. This is a 18650 cell. I think that's what these are. Sorry, it's not in focus. I have a manual focus set right now. So, but that's the one cell version. Then I built a 2-cell version. You can scale those up as much as you want. These are just 18650 batteries. And I got all these batteries from a weed whacker that had a bad battery. And still using weed whackers, had to retire the battery pack. After investigating and taking apart the battery pack, I found that there was two batteries. These aren't the ones that are bad. There was two batteries that were not able to take any voltage. So I'm thinking that's why it was not able to charge, because the BCM probably thought the whole thing was bad, so they just stopped trying to charge the battery pack. But yeah, there's 20 of these in a 40-volt battery. They wire them in series. But in my purpose, I don't need that high voltage, so I just wire them in parallel so that I can take advantage of all the capacity. But sorry, I've been talking. Not been talking in my microphone. I was showing you off these batteries. That's the other little project I was working on. I'm gonna put these in like little Mesh-tastic nodes. Like you compare these little controllers. They take USB, micro USB. You can just solder wires directly to it if you want to. but they work really well with the little USB cabled solar panels because they have a regulated 5 volt, and this takes regulated 5 volts. So it'll charge as many cells as you have in line there. I don't think it'll work with series connected because I think it expects a 4.2 volt voltage. So it's got like a protection circuit built in that it won't allow it to overcharge past 4.2 volts. So that's what I've been working on. It's nice to see everybody tonight. I'm in the same boat. I don't think we're going to have another time for me to get on again to talk about more things. So I'll say 73 to the group. Nice to see everybody tonight. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. W7ITL. Back to net.
W7ITL, thanks for sharing that information about the batteries in the controller. It was very interesting. I'm sure a lot of us will be able to zoom in on that and maybe use it for ourselves, that technology that you have managed to figure out. So let's see if Jim in Covington is still with us. N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Let's see. Well, Jim, you said you look awful. Okay, this is in part something which my doctor said to me. Jim, you don't look awful. You look pretty good for someone your age. What can I say there? My doctor did tell me that one time. And I didn't say anything to him. I only thought something. And Jim, you were asking about how you were coming through. I got good video from you on the ATV repeater and good audio from you on the 2 meters, and audio from the ATV repeater as well. Carlos, thank you for the pictures. Yeah, that stuff at the Hamfest was really interesting. Thank you for that. It looks like there are some other options which may be available to us. So that's good. And glad you were able to make it to the Air Force Museum. Yeah, there's a lot there. Ron, I would say you need a flexible hose for your dryer. I have a similar problem with my dryer at the house, and what I have to do if I want it to fit in the allotted space is I have to run a flexible hose up vertically and then horizontally over about 2 or 3 feet and then down in order for it to be able to properly accommodate the dryer. Let's see. Bob, yeah, you were talking about the Air Force Museum. I'll tell you what, you could easily spend 2 whole days there. If you want to read all of the little kiosks that are there, it might even take you more than 2 whole days. There's quite a bit there, and they've got some stuff outside as well. Dick, yeah, it seems like I remember you saying something about either buying an e-bike or a scooter or something like that to take to the track. I don't know if you ever got that, but I don't know. I'm not sure that you'd really be up to going to the track. I don't know. It sure would be good if maybe you could get some real-time streaming from it or something. Maybe one of the guys in your bunch of crew there could set up a little camera and somehow stream some stuff to you. I know you'd really enjoy that. Sorry you're not really up to going there, but better to stay home than risk falling out at the track, I think. I don't know. And Wade, looks like a fun project you have. Batteries and controller. I'm sure probably all of us could make use of that. Thanks for pointing that out. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
7QO, and for a final, let's go to James, WU7N.
Very much for those videos. Very, very interesting. I have not been to that Air Force Museum. I think I stopped at a museum, gosh, a long time ago, decades ago, as I was traveling from D.C. back here to Washington State. And I recall it was kind of interesting, but it wasn't that big. So I wonder which one I went to. It was somewhere in the Midwest. And Wade, thank you very much for showing us the controllers. I may have more questions, follow-up questions for you on that, because that's kind of the thing I'm trying to do right now. I'm getting acquainted with the famous 18650 battery, the battery that, as one person said, is now powering the world. Those little tiny batteries are even in Teslas, lots and lots of them in a power bank. Absolutely amazing. And the electronics in the controller board, I watched a couple of YouTube videos on that. That to me is also equally amazing, but very necessary. One member of one group I volunteer with was visited by the fire department when his LiPos lit off, and the fire department didn't quite know what to do with it. Fortunately, they just kind of burned themselves out. It was just a small pack, but hopefully they're learning more about how to deal with them when they get out of hand. Well, I think we're out of time here. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Dave, take it away and close the net. Thank you.
WU7N, thanks for that. And this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. We'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for allowing us to use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a tone of 103.5 for our audio communications for our net. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7ZYM, signing off.